All welcome everyone to the online course on Essential of Database Management System. In previous video lecture, we discussed database system architecture and its components. In this presentation, we are going to discuss various data models in DBMS. In file system, more limitation is there. There are a lot of researchers and software developer design and develop various data models. There are number of model is there. For example, hierarchical model, network model, entity relationship model, relational model, object-oriented model. So we'll discuss one by one in detail. Let's start with the hierarchical model. This model organizes the data in the hierarchical tree structure. This model is very easy to understand the real-time example. In this model, the data is organized in the form of hierarchical tree structure based on the category. It is very easy to understand. The searching also very easy. For example, class. The class can be categorized as men's class and women's class. Further, the men's class can be subcategorized as pant and shirt, வேட்டி and shirt. Similarly, the women's class can be categorized as saree and salwar. Features of hierarchical model. One-to-many relationship, parent-child relationship is there, efficient data retrieval, navigation, and implementation with pointers. What are the high advantage of hierarchical model? Simplicity. It means it is very easy to understand. And next one, easy of management. It means it will support parent-child structures. It is very easier to managing the record. And next one, data sharing. It promotes the data sharing among different applications. Anyway, some other drawbacks in the hierarchical model. For example, first one, data redundancy. The redundant data may be stored in the multiple branches. In this case, sometimes the inconsistency will occur. And next one, difficult to modify. Updating data structures can be complex and risky. The next model, network model. The network model is the extension of hierarchical model. This model was recommended as the best before relationship model. It is similar to hierarchical model, but in the hierarchical model, one root and more number of child. It means the more number of child inherit the property from single parent. But in this model, more number of parent is there. So the child inherit the property from more than one parent. For example, college. The college can be categorized as department and library. The student is a child. The child can inherit the property from both department and then library. It means the student make the relationship both department and library. Features of network model. Manage and merge more relationship. More path is there. It will support circular linked list. What are the advantage of network model? Handle complex relationship. It means it will support many to many relationship efficiently. And next one is fast data access. The navigation structure allows quickly retrieval of data through predefined path using pointers. And next one, efficient use of storage. Reduce the redundancy by allowing shared relationship. And next, disadvantage of network model. First one is complex design and implementation. It means designing and maintaining the database is complex due to its graph-like structure, pointer-based navigation. And next one is lack of structural independence. It means changes to the database structure often require changes in the application program that access the data. The next model, entity relationship model, simply we called as ER model. The ER model is a high-level data model represent the real-world problem as a pictorial representation. It is very easy to understand by the developer about the specification. It is like visualization tool to represent the specific database. It contains three components: entities, attribute, and relationship. We will discuss with one example. For example, the entity represented by rectangle box. All the attributes associated with the entity is represented as ellipse, and make the relationship between entity is represented as a diamond symbol. For example, faculty is an entity. The entity contains more number of attributes. For example, faculty ID, faculty name, phone number, date of birth, and salary. This all the attribute is associated with faculty entity. Similarly, the department contains more number of entity. For example, department ID, department name, department location. This all the attribute associated with department entity. Now, we are going to make the relationship between faculty and the department. The relationship name is works for. It means the faculty works for the department. What are the features of ER model? Graphical representation, visualization, good database design. What are the advantages of ER model? Very simple. The ER model uses diagram, so anyone can easily understand. And next, better communication. It acts as communication tools between database designer, developer, and stakeholder. And next one, easy to convert from ER diagram to any model. These are the advantages there. What are the disadvantages of ER model? No industry standard. The different tools and designer may use the slight different notation or conventions. And next drawback, not suitable for small databases. It may be unnecessarily complex for simple or small databases. The next model, relational model. Widely used model, data are represented as row-wise and column-wise. It means everything is represented in the two-dimensional array, that is table. For example, consider one of the employee table. So this employee table consists of number of columns and number of rows. So here each row is known as record or tuple. Then each column is known as attribute or field. The collection of attributes are called as record, that is entity. The collection of records are called as table, that is entity set. The above example, the table, that is the employee. What are the attributes here? Each column we are going to represent an attribute. For example, employee number is the attribute, employee name is the attribute, salary, like that. So all the column field is called as attributes. What are the features of relational model? Records and attributes. What are the advantages of relational model? Simple. Data is stored in the form of table, which are easy to understand and use. Here, each row is record and each column is field. Flexibility is there. The table can be modified without affecting the entire system. And next one is standardization. The relational databases follow widely accepted and standardized model, which promote the interoperability and training. What are the disadvantages of relational model? The performance overhead. The complex query and join can slow down the performance, especially with large databases and sets. Hardware requirement requires significant memory and processing power, especially for large-scale operation. So nowadays, the real-time Mostly all the application it is using only the relational database model. And now last one, object-oriented model. The real-time problem are easily represented through the object-oriented data model, which is the object. In this model, the data and its relationship present in the single structure. For example, the complex data, for example, images, it may be audio, it may be video, can be stored easily. Suppose if you want to store images or if you want to store audio file, if you want to store only video file, that cases you can prefer the object-oriented model. The remaining data you can prefer the previous model. So this model only specifically designed for the complex object, for example, images, audio, video, like that. The object connected through link using common attributes. For example, the three objects, faculty object, department, and campus, linked using the common attributes. So this each object here, we are going to represent the rectangle box and divide into three portions. First one is the name, and second one is the attributes, and last one is the methods. What are the features of object-oriented model? Object, encapsulation, inheritance, abstraction, complex object support. What are the advantages of object-oriented model? Real-world modeling. It will represent the real-world entity more naturally through the object, encapsulating both data and behavior. And second one, reusability. It promotes the code and structure reusability through the inheritance and modular design. And next one is extensibility. Easier to extend the data structure and behavior without major redesigning. And next one is encapsulation. Keeps the data and the methods bundled together. It will improve the data protection and integrity. And next one is inheritance. Allows sharing of common property among different object classes and it will reduce the redundancy. What are the disadvantages of object-oriented model? Complexity can be harder to design and understand, especially for developer unfamiliar with object-oriented concept. And next one is lack of standardization. Less standardized compared to the relational model and different system may be implemented the feature differently. So there are different type of, this is the way we are going to represent the data or table in the different data models. So based on the convenience, you can select any one of the model you can design. Mostly, all we are using the real-time, the relational model. Suppose if you want to store only the particular complex object, for example, video, audio, or images, then you can prefer object-oriented model. So I hope you understood. Thank you. The next section, we will discuss the ER diagram basic and extension.